Good morning. My name is Vuyisile, co-founder of Empowerment, which is part of EmpowerX. EmpowerX has also programs for youth, women entrepreneurs, and the capacity to do activations at events. Welcome, and thank you for choosing to join the digital conversations hosted by Empowerment. It is a monologue, and your mics will be muted, and your videos, if you are joining us through Zoom, will also be sometimes switched off. The views of the speakers on our platform are theirs and not those of Empowerment. We are providing a platform for these crucial conversations and talks to happen during this lockdown period. We'd like to thank the speakers firm for organizing the speakers. Today, we're going to be hearing 4 speakers talking to us. The first one is Vuyisile Ndabeni Charles, and we'll be talking about the 10 fundamentals of a successful marriage. Later on, we'll hear about gender-based violence, the silent killer, and so on. But I'll introduce those much, much later. One might ask themselves, why Empowerment platform, especially during this lockdown period? It is our view that we need to change the narrative from pointing a finger at men to inviting men to play their part in finding sustainable solutions to the social challenges of equality, to equip men to rise above the stereotypes, the status quo, and become holistically great men, to inspire men to fight for all the right reasons, stand up for all the right things, and unapologetically embrace all it means to be a man. And perhaps more importantly, is to provide an inclusive platform that challenges every person who calls himself male, no matter their position in life, sexual preference, stature, or nature, to become an active agent of change at home, at work, and in their community. You can catch us live by visiting our website, www.empowerment.co.za, to get more information or to send your queries to our WhatsApp number 082 088 5262. We are live on the following digital platforms, and thank you very much for joining us: EmpowerX YouTube, Instagram at Empowerment, Twitter at Empowerment, as well as Facebook Empowerment. Our hashtag is I'm EmpowerMen. Coming up is Vuyisile Ndabeni, who is the chairman of the definition. He's also a speaker. The topic that he has chosen to engage us on is the 10 fundamentals of a successful marriage. Over to you, Vuyisile Ndabeni.
Thank you, Sichaba Mudzielwa. I think the first thing I want to say is it's a short prayer. Morena buluka Sichaba Saruna, ufedise coronavirus li lockdown. I pray all this in the name of our mothers, of our daughters, and our ancestors. Amen. My name is Vuyisile Ndabeni. I'm a social entrepreneur. I'm a chairman of a company called Global Tourism Legacy Networks, Pty Limited, trading as the definition. We are in the business of tourism, of heritage, of wildlife, of fashion, of film, and entertainment. And I'm based in Kaswani City. Kaswani is the original name of Rustenburg. I'm also a knowledge architect. Furthermore, I'm an innovative disruptor. And after hours, I'm a comedian. So, hold on to your seats. I may give you 2 or 3 of my best signature comedies. But let's get to the topic of the day. What are the 10 successful fundamentals of a marriage that is sustainable and that is bankable? And I use the word bankable because, it has to sustain. But I would also want to give a disclaimer. I had a failed marriage. I was married for 23 years and I failed. So what I present here is not theory. It's not some, textbook stuff, manufactured somewhere in a corner in a university or in a knowledge institution in this country. It's my personal reflection and my journey of redeeming myself, and rediscovering and also reconfirming the importance of this institution called marriage. Just on a comedy side, one big problem with this institution, before you can even perform, they give you a certificate. And you know what is difficult with this certificate is that it has no expiry date. I hope, I've brought in some humor in this discussion. But the second issue is, I'm happy that this topic is happening within the context of the lockdown. I have seen something and I'm very encouraged. I think what is the positive thing about coronavirus is that it has forced husbands and wives and their children to be in one place. For 25 years, everybody had this so-called, freedom. I'm very happy that everybody is now quarantined. And guess what? Husbands are performing their roles. Wives are performing their roles. The children are performing their roles. Now, let me get to the core subject. Conventional wisdom suggests that marriage is a contracted relationship between a wife and a husband. And then there's also the obligations and rights. These are extended to the children. But moreover, within an African context, they are also extended to what we call the family, of the husband or the wife. We call them, son-in-law or daughter-in-law. Now, the first thing that I believe should happen when you start this journey of relationship, one, marry your friend. Friendship is the hallmark and the foundation of any relationship. Inherently so, in any relationship, there is conflict. And part of the problem with conventional marriage is there's these rights and obligations. And moreover, when people are involved in a conflictual situation, they become positional and they negotiate from a position of right and not from a position of friendship. And that's why I say, if you are friends, you are in a position to can step back from the rights and the obligation and just become human again before you even got married. This is what I find strange about this institution. When you date, there are no rights and obligations. As soon as you sign, there's all these rights and obligations, and other people become very mechanical and very dogmatic about it. To say, these are my rights. These are my rights. I'm a husband. This is what I'm entitled to. So that's the first thing. Be friends. Bring friendship in the marriage, and it will succeed. Secondly, this is very important. If your esteem and confidence levels are very low, you're going to run into a problem. That partner will become a liability for the rest of your marriage. Now, you need to do something about it. And here I'm talking about love is about happiness. Love is about completeness. Love is about fulfillment. Now, you cannot have happiness, fulfillment, and be complete if you haven't earned the happiness, you haven't earned the fulfillment, and you haven't earned the completeness. And very importantly, your passion generates your happiness. Secondly, wealth generates fulfillment, but most importantly, legacy generates completeness. So if you haven't completed this, it would be difficult for you to say to somebody, I love you, because you need to be complete yourself before you can share the love with the next person. So the level of esteem and confidence, the tone of your voice when you engage is very important. I'm going to go faster with the other three 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 are the values or fundamentals. Number 3, have a career, not a job. Marriage is very expensive, especially when you bring children into the equation. Everything is highly commercialized and commodified. You know, this is what he said on the other side. 25 years later, we're still not free. You know, the banks, the private sector, every space is commercialized. So you need to have, you know, a very good, wealthy situation to really carry and sustain your marriage. 4, have a balance sheet. And when I say balance sheet, I'm not referring to property, intellectual capital. Because when you are intellectually competent, you can live anywhere in the world and you can do anything with your life because you are in a position to compete. 5, have key fundamental values. You know, the biggest thing, and I can say this without any fear of contradiction, is that honesty is a very rare commodity within an African marriage. Now, if you're not honest, you're going to cheat on your partner. You know, let me tell you something, and I'm talking from experience. You're going to get caught. So build in honesty, build in transparency, build in trust. And by the way, trust has 3 subsidiary values. You know, it's about accountability, it's about performance, it's about reliability. But most importantly, have integrity. And I keep on saying, you know, you can have money, you can have everything, but if you don't have integrity, you make it. You've sold your soul, you lack the ability to be in control of your life. Number 6, and some people have taken issue with this, but don't marry an atheist. There's a counter argument that in actual fact, religion is and education have not evolved, and in actual fact, they are the source of the conflict in the world. I beg to differ. Africans are not religious, we are very spiritual. And I think that's the big difference. So marry somebody who's spiritual, somebody who has a soul, who has a spirit. By the way, your soul, you know, if I can use this metaphorically, your soul is the home and your spirit is the house. You know, you can build a massive house, 48 million rands. I have a friend, and every time I walk in his house, it remains a house because it will only become a home if you have a woman. They are co-creators with God. They know how to create. Number 7, very important, and I really call on all of us to really observe this. Have a life in a marriage. You know, don't always be at home and trying, you know, to do things that are subsidiary. Follow your passion, convert that passion into equity, and you know, get excited in the morning. Let me tell you, my passion is people development, human development. When I see people, I get excited. Like when I was told that I was coming to speak to South Africans, 58 million of you, I got excited because that's what I believe in. So have a life in a marriage. Number 8, you know, marry somebody who has a conscience. You know, and I use this metaphorically, that when you married to a woman, onaning Botu, you know, people think Botu is what our, you know, non-African people define. Botu is wealth. Botu is respect. Botu is dignity. Botu is legacy. Marry somebody who has a legacy orientation, somebody who is ready to help others, somebody who understands what a moto kimoto kabatu baba. Number 9, and this one is a very interesting one because a lot of people don't do it, and I'm happy coronavirus and the lockdown has forced us to do it. Spend time with your partner, and especially our men. Stop lying about you going to workshops and overseas meetings when in actual fact you're going to see your concubine. You know, spend time with your partner, because and this is what I always like about you know, the indigenous knowledge system. In the wild, it is the male that is very attractive, that is beautiful. but he has a responsibility to build the nest. And guess what? The female comes in and shakes the nest, and if it stands, they will be together for the rest of their lives. You know, the difference between us and animals in the world as Homo sapiens, we mate for fun, they mate for survival, because it's all about the conservation of the best genes, and by the way, to protect each other, you know. And I must say this to our women: stop mating with weak bulls, because the outcome is preposterous for all of us. Number 9, as I said. Number 10, create a pilgrimage with, and I got Sebotsola and Budaza and some of my friends in the Mountain Kingdom when I said, go overseas. Lesotho is not overseas. Maybe today, let me use Botswana. Go overseas. Don't go to Botswana. Botswana is not overseas. Go and spend time, quality time with your wife. Switch off your phones. Don't have a girlfriend. Listen, when you fly to Belarus, Belarus is the honeymoon destination in the world today. It is very far, it's very expensive. So your boyfriend will not afford to follow you guys. You need to be on your own, spend quality time, come back re-energized. And you know, in conclusion, I would like to quote Ntate Kukar. Live this life to the fullest. Miles Monroe says it in English, and people think he's better than Ntate Kukama. He says, live your life to the fullest. When you die, you must be empty. Ladies and gentlemen, let me conclude and say, we must chase what we fear. Most importantly, access is temporary, but ownership is permanent.
Real issues quickly. I wish we had more time to really go into the details of what you said, especially the blessing that you say this time out is giving us. Because sometimes we look at the situation on and all we take out is the negative and not really appreciate what can I take out that is something that I can use, and our ability to use this time to really look into ourselves, our partners, and our circumstances to make something meaningful out of it really talks to me. And for that, I really, really, really thank you. The next conversation that will be happening is going to be at 11 o'clock. It's going to talk to gender-based violence against men, a silent crisis. Don't miss that one by Kugule Tutlaba. And it will be a nice one to follow this one up, especially because we are saying we are spending more time. We'll open up the conversation as we go through. We are still trending. Visit our website, www.empowerment.co.za, and send your request to 082 088 5262 so that we can directly communicate with you if you have any challenges. Really, really appreciate that. And thank you so much, Ntate, for your wisdom and sharing your knowledge so generously, as you said, from experience and not just from theory. Thank you, sir.
Can I give you one of my commercials as a parting shot?
Okay,
right.
Please do.
This is I have 250 registered commercials. I tell better jokes than Trevor Noah, by the way, because I'm African. Okay, you didn't get the joke, but that's fine. It's not based on a true story. It is a true story. An elephant and a mouse were crossing over an old bridge, and this happens to be in Africa. And because of the size of the elephant, and please don't look at me, the bridge was heavily shaken. Now, let me give you a biological profile of an elephant. An elephant has a memory capacity 6 times more than any other living species. Can live up until 100 years. An average elephant weighs about 7,500 kilograms, eats 400 kilograms of food every day, drinks 300 liters of water every day. The gestation period is not 9 months, it's 22 months. And for our women out there, let me tell you the secret. An elephant bull pumps in 300 grams of spermatology capacity. Do you know what these guys, these Africans that you're looking at, do you know what is the capacity they give after serious horizontal recreation? And they make so much noise, only 3 centimeters. And I know that African people are mathematically challenged. They don't know the difference between grams and centimeters. But that's another discussion for another day. But as soon as they cross on the safe side, the mouse says, and I quote, "Man, we shook the bridge." I can see you don't understand the joke. Now, you know what is the moral of the story? Size does not count. You need to have a presence in life. Live every day as if it's your last day. Celebrate this life to the fullest. Enjoy every minute of it. Don't take this life back to God. God gave it to you to live it. But you know, when you live it and you empower other people, it is a well-lived life. So my brother, today we shook the bridge. The mouse, look at the size. And you know what is the dichotomy? The elephant was not even aware that the bridge had shaken.
Wow. Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you. And bye-bye, everybody that's been listening to us on all our social media platforms. I look forward to engaging you again at 11 o'clock. Bye-bye, and thank you.